Superior pond, superior care, your backyard retreat beyond compare. Minnesota's finest at your call. Your pond stays perfect all year long.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You know, for a lot of us, that backyard pond is just a little piece of heaven, right? A quiet spot.
Absolutely.
But keeping it that way sometimes feels like it costs a fair bit. We actually heard from Lisa. She's up in Eagan, Minnesota. Loves her pond. It's her go-to spot all summer. But she's definitely, feeling the pinch with costs going up. She wants to be smarter, kind of cut the edge off her spending, but without losing what she loves about the pond.
And I bet that sounds familiar to a lot of people listening.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving into today. Some practical, smart ways to maybe save a little money on pond services, but without compromising the quality or the enjoyment.
Right. It's about being strategic, not just cutting corners blindly.
Yeah.
Understanding where that investment really counts.
We've pulled together 5 key strategies from our sources that we think will really help.
Looking forward to unpacking them. It's about managing costs proactively, not just reacting when something breaks.
Okay, so let's jump into the first one. And this might sound a bit backwards at first. Actually investing in ongoing maintenance to avoid bigger bills down the line.
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive. Spend money to save money, but think about your car.
Okay.
You wouldn't skip oil changes hoping to save cash, right?
Right.
Because, that could lead to, engine failure. Huge cost.
Right. Catastrophic failure. Okay, I get that analogy.
It's pretty similar with ponds. Ignoring that regular upkeep, it can honestly lead to some really expensive situations. I mean, we've seen cases needing a complete pond rebuild or even worse.
Worse.
Yeah, like having to fill the pond in completely because it's become unsafe or just too far gone. And that's definitely not saving money.
No, that's the opposite of goal.
Right.
Okay, so give us some concrete examples. How does a little neglect turn into a big price tag?
Well, okay, take something seemingly small, like a clogged skimmer basket. If you don't clean it out regularly, the pump has to work way harder.
Right.
And over time, that extra strain, it can just burn the pump out way sooner than it should. And replacing a decent pump, you're easily looking at, $1,400, maybe more.
Wow, okay, from just a clogged basket.
Yeah. Or another one, a small leak you don't notice right away. Seems minor, but that constant water loss stresses the pump, sure, but it can also eventually undermine the liner itself, fixing major liner issues. Big repair bill.
And this isn't just anecdotal, is it? I think there's some actual data on this preventative approach.
There is, yeah. The National Association of Landscape Professionals, NALP, they're sort of the industry experts, so they did the research. And they found that water features getting regular seasonal maintenance are, get this, 60% less likely to need major expensive repairs.
60%. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a pretty convincing number.
It really is. It shows that consistency pays off.
So for someone listening right now thinking, okay, I want to be proactive, what are the essential steps they should be looking at?
I'd say focus on the big transition points in the year. The critical moments, like a proper spring startup service to get everything running smoothly after winter. Then fall netting, super important to keep leaves and debris out before they decompose. And definitely a thorough winter shutdown to protect all the equipment from freezing temps.
Right, the startup, the netting, the shutdown. Got it. Those seem like the key moments. What about going beyond just those individual services? Are maintenance plans worth looking into?
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of the next level, right? A good maintenance plan usually bundles those essential services, maybe adds in some regular checkups throughout the season.
And the benefit there is?
Well, a few things. One, the consistent attention helps catch little problems before they become those big, expensive ones we talked about.
Yeah.
2, you often get cost savings because you're bundling.
Right, like buying in bulk, sort of.
Exactly. And sometimes you get other perks too, like priority scheduling if something does go wrong, maybe even extended warranties on parts installed during service. It's about consistency and often, saving money overall compared to paying for everything separately.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Consistent investment prevents those wallet-busting surprises. Great first point. Let's shift gears a bit to number 2. This one's called Pond Perks. Sounds interesting. Rewarding people for being good pond owners.
Yeah, it's a really neat idea, actually. It basically leverages the pride and enthusiasm that people already have for their ponds. And it turns that into, actual savings on their pond care. It's kind of a community thing, sharing positive experiences and getting rewarded.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break it down. First up is the yard sign display. How does that work, savings-wise?
That one's pretty simple. If you're happy with your pond service and you're willing to display a small sign in your yard for a few months.
Like an advertising sign.
Yeah, basically. It helps the provider get some local visibility, and in return, you get a credit towards your next service. Maybe like $100 for the first 3 months, something like that. Simple way to support them and save a bit yourself.
Okay, easy enough. Visibility for them, credit for you. What about the lifestyle testimonial video? Sounds a bit more involved.
It is a little more involved, yeah. But if you really enjoy your pond lifestyle and you're willing to, talk about it on camera for a short video.
Share your story.
Exactly. Share your experience. It helps other people see what it's really like. And as a thank you, you usually get a choice, maybe a bigger service credit like $200, or sometimes something like a free mid-season checkup, which could be worth even more, maybe including some nice water treatments.
So sharing your enthusiasm pays off directly in savings or extra care. Cool. Okay, and the last perk listed here is the Neighborhood Pond Showcase. Sounds like you're playing host.
You are, yeah. This one requires a bit more from the homeowner, but the rewards can be pretty substantial.
How substantial?
Well, the idea is you host a small informal get-together for your interested neighbors right by your pond. The pond company usually handles all the setup, maybe brings some refreshments, handles cleanup, makes it easy for you.
Okay, so you provide the venue, basically.
Pretty much. And in return for hosting, you could get something really valuable, like maybe your entire spring startup and cleaning covered, which could be worth, $1,200 or more, depending on size. Or maybe even a couple of months of their top-tier maintenance plan for free.
Wow, okay, so that's a potentially, really significant savings for opening up your yard for an evening.
Exactly. If you're proud of your pond anyway and like sharing it, it's a fantastic way to offset a big chunk of your annual costs.
Yeah, those pond perks are definitely creative ways to save. Tapping into that community pride. I like it.
Me too. It benefits everyone involved.
All right. Strategy number 3. This one feels fundamental. Using higher quality materials from the get-go. I can see the temptation, though, to maybe save a few bucks on the pump or the liner initially.
Oh, absolutely. It's totally understandable, especially if you're watching the budget. But the thing is, those cheaper, lower quality materials, they often end up costing you more in the long run because they just don't last. They fail more often, need replacing sooner. We've heard, stories of pumps included in those super basic DIY pond kits. Sometimes they don't even make it through one full Minnesota season.
Oof. Less than a year. That's not great.
Not at all. So you save a bit up front, but then you're buying another pump next year and maybe the year after. It adds up fast.
Okay, so what's the real difference then between, say, a box store pump and a professional grade one? Or a cheap liner versus a better one?
It really comes down to durability and just better engineering. Those professional grade pumps, they're built tougher, designed for continuous use. You're often looking at a lifespan of maybe 7, 10, even more years if you look after them.
Compared to 1 or 2 years for the cheaper ones?
Exactly. Big difference. And liners, same idea. The thicker fish-safe liners that professionals use are much more resistant. They stand up better to UV rays from the sun, potential punctures from, wildlife digging or sharp rocks. And critically for us here, the stress of freezing and thawing every year.
Right, the freeze-thaw cycle is brutal.
It really is. Cheaper, thinner liners are just much more likely to get brittle, crack, and leak over time.
And I guess it's not just the materials themselves, right? How they're installed must matter too.
Oh, massively. That's a crucial point. You can have the best pump in the world, but if it's installed incorrectly, maybe the plumbing isn't right. It won't work efficiently and could still fail early. Same with the liner. Improper installation is a huge cause of leaks.
So the professional installation is part of that upfront investment that pays off.
Definitely. It ensures everything works together correctly, maximizing the lifespan of those quality components.
And I think there's some industry backing for this idea, too. It's not just us saying, buy better stuff.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Folks like Aquascape Inc., real leaders in the water feature world, they consistently say that using poor quality materials is the #1 reason for pond system problems, inefficiencies, failures, unnecessary replacements.
So the takeaway is clear. Spending a bit more upfront on quality pumps, liners, plumbing, and installation can literally save you hundreds, maybe thousands over the life of your pond.
Precisely. It's that buy it nice or buy it twice. Or maybe 3 or 4 times in the case of cheap pond parts.
Okay, good point. Let's move to number 4. Bundling services for better pricing. This seems pretty straightforward, kind of like bundling cable and internet.
It's exactly like that. It's a very common sense approach. Instead of scheduling and paying for, say, your spring cleanup, then later your fall shutdown, then maybe a checkup, all separately. You sign up for an annual maintenance plan that includes all those essential services, often at a discounted package rate.
So saves money and probably some hassle too, right? Not having to remember to book everything.
Exactly. Convenience is a big part of it. The provider schedules it all for you. Plus, as you said, the cost savings can be significant compared to paying a la carte for each visit.
What kind of services typically get bundled into these plans?
Usually it's those core seasonal things we mentioned, the spring opening, the fall closing, or winterization. Often includes netting in the fall, too. Many plans also include maybe 1 or 2 mid-season checkups or inspections, just to make sure everything's running okay, check water quality, equipment function, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then sometimes, depending on the provider, you might get exclusive discounts if you need other work done, like repairs, or maybe even discounts on buying new fish or plants. It adds up to peace of mind, really.
Are there usually different levels, like a basic plan versus a more premium one?
Yes, very often. You might see, say, a gold plan and a VIP plan. The VIP might include more frequent visits, maybe some extra services bundled in, and often comes with priority scheduling, meaning if you have an issue, you jump to the front of the line.
And the savings are real, like percentage-wise.
Yeah, typically you'd see numbers like maybe the gold members save 15–20% annually compared to individual service costs, and the VIP members might save 25–30%. So the savings are definitely tangible.
Okay, so bundling is clearly a smart way to manage costs and get consistent care. Makes sense. All right, our final strategy, number 5. This is about going beyond the usual stuff. Some smart, maybe underused ways to save.
Yeah, these are some neat ones that might not be top of mind, but can definitely chip away at those ongoing costs. First up is leveraging natural filtration with plants.
Plants, okay. I always figured the lilies and stuff were mostly just for looks. How do they save money?
Well, they definitely look great, no question. But plants like water lilies, water lettuce, water hyacinth, they're actually workhorses in the pond ecosystem.
Workhorses, how?
They act as natural filters. They absorb excess nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus directly from the water. These are the nutrients that algae thrive on.
Ah, so less nutrients means less algae.
Exactly. By having a good balance of aquatic plants, you can naturally keep algae growth in check. And if the plants are doing more of the filtration work, you might be able to rely a bit less on, say, running your mechanical filter constantly, or using as many chemical algicides, both of which cost money electricity for the filter, buying the treatments.
That's clever. Using the plants as part of the system, not just decoration. Okay, what's another one of these less obvious tips?
Another really smart one, especially around here, is rainwater harvesting.
Rainwater harvesting. For the pond.
Yep. Think about it. Rain is free water, right? Instead of using your hose and paying for municipal water every time the pond level drops a bit in the summer.
Which happens a lot in July and August.
Totally. You can set up relatively simple systems, maybe using rain barrels connected to your downspouts, or even directing some landscape drainage towards the pond area to capture that rainwater.
And use that to top off the pond.
Exactly. It's free, it's sustainable, and especially during dry spells, it can make a noticeable difference on your water bill over the season.
That's a great eco-friendly tip, too. Okay, free water. What's the last beyond the basics idea?
The final one ties back a bit to maintenance, but it's about really specific seasonal adjustments, particularly winter prep.
Okay, we mentioned winter shutdown before, but what's the specific cost-saving angle here?
It's about preventing damage that leads to costly spring repairs. Taking the time in the fall to properly winterize, really doing it right. Removing pumps if necessary, draining the plumbing lines completely so no water sits in them to freeze and expand, checking for any weak spots.
So avoiding burst pipes and cracked filter housings and stuff like that?
Precisely. Every single spring, pond service companies see tons of damage that was totally preventable. Cracked filters, split pipes, damaged pumps because they were left in freezing water. Taking those extra steps in the fall, maybe spending an hour or two doing it right, can save you hundreds, potentially thousands, in repairs come springtime.
Right. That ounce of prevention saving a pound of cure, quite literally in terms of cost.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It really all comes back to being proactive, thinking ahead.
Well, this has been incredibly helpful. Lots of practical stuff here. It really drives home that Having a pond shouldn't feel like a financial burden all the time.
Not at all.
By being smart about maintenance, checking out things like those pond perks, choosing quality stuff up front, bundling your services, and even using some of these natural or preventative tricks, it seems totally possible to enjoy that backyard oasis without feeling like it's draining your wallet.
That's absolutely the goal. It should be enjoyable, sustainable. Making informed choices really is key to keeping it that way, balancing the beauty with the budget.
So maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
As you look ahead to this pond season, what's maybe one change, even a small one, you could make based on what we talked about to help protect both your pond and your budget?
Yeah, it's worth considering. Maybe it's finally signing up for that maintenance plan or just being more diligent about cleaning the skimmer or perhaps looking into rainwater collection. Every little bit can help.
Absolutely. And hey, if you are listening in southern Minnesota, places like New Prague, Prior Lake, Shakopee, Lakeville, that area, and you want some personalized advice, you can always reach out to the team at Superior Ponds.
They really know their stuff.
Yeah. You can give them a call at, let me get the number right, 952-491-0765, or shoot them an email at info@superiorpondsmn.com. That's info@superiorpondsmn.com. They've also got a pretty good online presence. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and their website has a ton of resources like project photos, contact forms, a whole pond care guide, service area maps, blog posts, reviews, all that good stuff. We'll make sure to put links to some of that in our notes for you.
Definitely check out those resources. Could be really valuable as you plan your pond care.
Well, thanks again for joining us for this deep dive. Lots of great takeaways.
My pleasure. Always good to talk ponds.
Until next time.
Superior care, your backyard retreat beyond compare. Minnesota's finest at your call.